Hello and welcome to CityTV Sports Playback. Along with Jennifer Murrillo, I'm your host, Egidio Deliu. It's week 5 and everyone is wrapping up their non-league play. This is the last week before things start getting hot.
That's right, Egidio. All 3 of our teams have been looking to get into the best position possible before heading into an all-important league action. But before we take a look ahead, let's check out what's happened. 2 weeks ago, Hawthorne hosted Verzion Day at Hellcat Field, but the Eagles proved to be a little too much for the Cougars. Quarterback Patrick Washington threw for 115 yards, but had a hard time connecting with his receivers, completing 6 out of 20 passes and throwing 3 interceptions. Cougars lose 38-14. Moving on to the big Lawndale Leuzinger rivalry.
Lawndale starts off strong. On the second play of the game, Richard Rivera hands off to Perkison, who goes 80 yards untouched to the house for a Cardinal score.
All the way to the end zone, 80 yards for the score, touchdown Lawndale.
A Leuzinger fumble on the kickoff sets up another Lawndale touchdown as number 5 DeAndre Shaw takes it 14 yards in the end zone, giving an early 14-0 lead to the Cardinals. Leuzinger then gives up great field position, and Lawndale capitalizes as Richard Rivera runs the ball himself untouched, leading to another 7 points. Still in the first, quarterback Edson Santos ignites a Leuzinger drive by connecting with number 3 Nathaniel Vaughn, who gets it to 25-yard line. Play action fake Santos intending to hit Vaughn, gets his pass pulled down by number 8 Angelo Smith for the first Olympian touchdown. Lawndale, deep in their own territory, fumbles the snap, and the Olympian defense jumps all over it for a safety. Lawndale now leads 21-9. Cardinals on the attack, quarterback Chris Murray out of the shotgun finds the hole, taking it 12 yards himself for another Cardinals touchdown. Santos with a screen pass to Beltran fumbles the ball, going nowhere. Lawndale leads at the half 27-9. Third quarter action, Santos gets picked off once again. Lambert making the moves and this time returns it 31 yards for a TD.
And he is going to be gone into the end zone. Touchdown Lawndale.
Olympians on offense, Santos throws his 3rd interception of the night. This time it's picked off by number 44 Staya, who also adds his name to the stat sheet with a half dozen of his own, giving the Cardinals a 40-9 lead. But Lawndale wasn't done yet. Murray out of the shotgun runs the other way and straight into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Your final score, Lawndale 47-9.
Now let's take a look at some Week 4 highlights. With the Hawthorne Cougars taking their bye week, both Leuzinger and Lawndale were on the road.
First up, we head to Torrance with the Leuzinger Olympians. Leuzinger is still looking for its first win, facing an equally 0-3 and equally hungry Torrance Tartar team. Right out of the gate, Torrance was on the offense as number 14 Bobby Wilson takes the handoff and runs straight ahead for the first score of the game with 9:11 left in the first. Santos starting off where he left off last week, a screen pass picked off by number 4 Daniel Aros, who gave the Tartars an early 14-0 lead. Now Torrance leading 21-0 in their red zone. Wilson again gets the handoff and this time slices right up the middle into the end zone for another score. The Olympian defense comes up big with a huge sack as number 4 Agent Galero dropping Torrance for a loss, but it's not enough to even slow down this train. Screen pass to Wilson, once again working his foot magic, and scores his 3rd touchdown of the quarter and one of Torrance's 8 touchdowns on the night. The Olympians struggling to get something going. Santos drops back and throws a beautiful pass to number 8 Angelo Smith in the end zone for a Leuzinger 6. Leuzinger still looking for another score in the 4th. Santos in the shotgun takes it himself into the end zone for what the Olympians thought was a touchdown, but a holding call negates the score and Leuzinger falls to Torrance 57-6.
Tough night for Leuzinger, but Leuzinger head coach Shankis took the loss and remains positive about his team.
I had a chance to catch up with Coach last week and this is what he had to say. What are your thoughts on how your team performed in that game?
Well, I don't feel like we performed up to our standards. We had a lot of adversity coming into the game, but we were able to get to the game and have the guys that were ready to play. And, we have to give Torrance credit. They played an excellent ball game, and we didn't feel like we played up to our standards. So, I like to say you get what you deserve in football. Well, the main thing is we feel like, the most fundamental thing in defense is tackling. And we haven't done a good job of doing that. And also just the basic fundamental things of covering gaps, playing your responsibilities. So those are the things that we tried to stress to our kids. Is just being more fundamentally sound, playing your responsibility, and once you do that, you have to be physical and fundamentally sound and making proper tackles. So we just have to do better in all those phases.
Meanwhile, their crosstown rivals, the Lawndale Cardinals, made the short drive up the hill to take on the 2-1 Palos Verdes Peninsula Panthers under the bright light of the Friday afternoon sun.
First quarter, Cardinals with the ball in the red zone. Quarterback Chris Murray hands off to number 5, DeAndre Shaw, who takes it up the middle as Lawndale draws first blood, taking a 6-0 lead after a failed PAT. Peninsula tries to answer back on 1st and 18. Quarterback Ian Escutia throws in the end zone, but is picked off by number 10, Christian Coleman, the first of the Peninsula's 5 turnovers. Quarterback Chris Murray on 1st and goal hands off to DeAndre Shaw for his second touchdown, putting the Cardinals up 13-0. The Panthers answer back in the second quarter as Escutia from the 4-yard line runs it in himself, making it 13-7. Chris Murray, now out of the shotgun again, throws deep, intended for number 3, Anthony Ramirez, but gets picked off by number 18, Shane Scott, which leads to a Panthers field goal, making the score 13-10. On the other side, Chris Murray runs it in himself all the way for a score, extending the lead 20-10 for Lawndale. In the third quarter, Murray with pressure scrambles, looking to make something happen, gets sacked by number 37, Julius Lagme, and the Panthers get the ball back, but just like that, quarterback Escutia throws a pick to number 6, Darius Flowers. After both teams fumbled, the Cardinals end up with great field positioning for Murray, who runs it in the end zone for another score. Lawndale now leads 26-17 with 3:56 remaining in the third quarter. A bad snap by the Cardinals, which ends up with Murray fumbling the ball, which rolls all the way in the end zone and is recovered by the Panthers for a touchdown, ending the third quarter with a score of 26-24, still Lawndale on top. Pressure by Cardinals defense, Escutia fumbles and is recovered by Darius Flowers, who runs it all the way for his first touchdown. Lawndale now up 32-24. The Cardinals trying to run the clock, but Austin Manigo fumbles the ball, giving the Panthers one last shot at a comeback. The Panthers here now with a desperation play. Escutia scrambles, throws for the end zone, but Engerson Lambert wasn't going to let it happen, sealing the win for Lawndale 32-24.
Lawndale is now 4-1, and coach Rick Mathieson is feeling pretty good about his team and their 4-game winning streak.
I had a chance to visit Lawndale and to talk to Coach about the game and what he plans to work on as they head into their bye week. What was going through your head on the sidelines as the Panthers were driving in their last drive with the clock winding down there?
It was just hoping our boys would stick to the game plan. We had shut down the run all day. That was the plan. The plan was to make them throw the ball and make them make a mistake, and it happened eventually, but it happened a little later than I would have expected. You know, I was hoping to get a bad ball on an interception maybe earlier in the drive, not quite have to make it in the end zone with that 7 seconds left. But, you know, the boys stuck to the game plan. We made some adjustments when we had to, and like I said, we were able to keep the ball out of the running back's hands and made the quarterback try to beat us.
Speaking of the interception, your defense had 5 turnovers in that game. Your defense has kind of carried you so far this season. Your thoughts on how your defense is playing so far in 2013?
You know, we kept the defense simple. We got a lot of great athletes. We just want them to be athletes. So rather than making a bunch of calls, having a bunch of stunts and blitzes and coverages, just put them in the best position to make plays and let them be athletes. And so far it's been working out. They've made a lot of big plays for us when we needed it, a lot of big turnovers when we needed it. Offense has been turning the ball over, but defense is keeping us on the positive side of that turnover ratio.
What are you focusing on in practice, trying to get healthy, preparing for the next game? What's going on in practice this week?
Just getting the kids healthy, keeping them fresh, cleaning up a lot of the stuff from the first 5 games, you know, going back through film. There's a lot of little things that we can just get better at. So taking the week, getting better there, keeping up on our conditioning, keeping up on our weightlifting. You know, the boys get plenty of rest from the lack of contact. Being on the bye week, you're not allowed to have shoulder pads or go full contact. So they'll get plenty of rest from the contact, but, you know, still got to push them hard in the weight room and conditioning-wise.
And right after the bye week, you have a game against El Segundo. What are you guys planning on to try to leave there with a W as well?
Well, now it's a much different game plan. You know, the first 5 weeks was all about forcing them to throw the ball. Stop the run, force them to throw. This week we're going against a team that throws the ball very well. So we're going to have to, you know, come up with some ways to get that quarterback a little uncomfortable, make El Sangano do something a little bit different than we're accustomed to. So maybe get them to run the ball a little bit more, but at the same time, try to get that quarterback to make some mistakes and let our defense do what they do.
Moving into week 5, coming up we have the granddaddy of local rivalries, the 16th annual Mayor's Cup featuring Hawthorne and Leuzinger. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the South Bay, and for this game, the teams always bring their A game.
That's right, and Leuzinger has the most riding on this game. They want to keep that trophy right where it is, inside the display case at Leuzinger High. They also want to get that first win, and nothing could be sweeter than a win in the Mayor's Cup. And to top it all off, it's homecoming night for Leuzinger.
On the other side of the ball, the Hawthorne Cougars would love nothing more than to upset Leuzinger on their home field on homecoming night by stealing the trophy, keeping them winless. So both teams know what's at stake. We sent our camera crew out to find out just how big this game is going to be.
Mayor Cup has a long tradition, of the two schools competing against each other.
Well, they're going for it. I mean, this is a huge attempt. Barton drops back the pass. Barton looking. Barton still looking. Now he's got a person in the end zone, and they do it. Here it is, with 35 seconds left. That completion to Aaron Simmons is good. Leuzinger stunned at the moment, trying to figure out what happened.
It means a lot to me, and when I first hear about the Mayor's Cup, about the tradition, they've been here how long, and we lost it 1 year, got it back.
The Mayor's Cup means a lot to both mayors, and especially me because I've been around the longest of the two mayors. But the whole thing is, it's good for the kids. Those that play are going to be giving a little bit extra because it's a Mayor's Cup.
It means a lot to us. It means a lot to the school. Been playing for over many years.
I think about like the tradition, how we had it for like 10 straight years, and we lost the year before, and then we got it back, and basically how we work to keep it.
They just expecting us. They just telling us not to be ready to go over there and take it back because they're almost 100% sure they're gonna keep it.
Just from what the parents told me about the Mayor's Cup and how we have to get it back, and it's a big deal between Leuzinger and Hawthorne, and it's a big deal. It's like SCUCLA.
It's a rivalry, so it's like it's not just a regular competition. It's like this is the most important game you're looking forward to.
The last couple of years, it's just been a source of pride, for our football team and for the community. We know for the kids, they play Pop Warner or went to middle school with each other. So it's a big, bragging rights thing for them.
This will be a big win, especially against them and how our season been going so far.
Once again, we're 0-4, but our main focus is to continue to improve, continue to stick together as a team. And we feel like if we do those things and just continue to try to be the best that we can be, things will work out for us.
I feel like my team is ready because, at the end of the day, it is a team effort. So we're going to come out and play hard. We ain't going to show no mercy because this Mayor's Cup is important to us, most of us at least, especially the seniors.
We're going to work hard, and we're going to try to win this game.
And to continue to improve as a team and, to add a little bit extra to it, it's the Mayor's Cup, and also it's homecoming. So, it's a lot of things rolled up in one for this week.
We're just trying to work and try to get that win, to really solidify our place.
We're going out there, we're going to try to dominate the game. We're going to be able to run the ball and get the cup back.
Well, we're going to prepare. We're going to try to stop their run and they passing. That's it.
Me and my team are going to come back, get it back. We lost it last year, so we're just trying to come and get it back and bring it back to the school.
Oh, we're going to keep it for a while. As long as I'm here, we'll have it.
It's false. My prediction, we got to win, play hard, fight.
I think that the hopes, if get us anywhere, Leuzinger will win, but I'm not too sure the hopes are going to get us. But I'll bet you the kids will do their darndest to be the winner. And I think we'll see the best out of both teams.
Wow, Egidio, this game looked like it has the potential to be a real barn burner.
And you never know what will happen when two teams like this who know each other and want desperately to win. Bragging rights are on the line. But enough talking, let's play some football. For Jennifer Murrillo, I'm Egidio Deliu. I'll see you in a while, but for now, let's head down the field. Take it away, Lou.
Thanks, Egidio, and it is going to be a huge night. The Mayor's Cup is on the line again at Leuzinger High School, where they're having the food trucks here again. People are winning prizes and having a lot of fun here before the game. And right here at Olympian Field is going to be the Mayor's Cup, being battled by the Cougars of Hawthorne High School, along with Mayor Harold Hofmann of the Lawndale and the Leuzinger Olympians. And it is Rufus Washington and the City TV crew. I'm Lou Stowers, welcoming you to the high school game of the week. And this is what it's all about, the Mayor's Cup. And Harold Hofmann, what a terrific trophy it is and a terrific tradition.
It's a tremendous idea that we started probably 15 years ago or so. With the City of Hawthorne, we've created a lot of interest, and a lot of the kids have benefited from this game. The Mayor's Trophy, Larry Egidio and I founded that many years ago, and it's been something that we can be proud of that we've done for the kids.
And Lawndale, Leuzinger is trying to hang on to it for one more year.
For one more year. We'll try, and we'll see how we do at the end of this game.
And Rufus Washington, the Hawthorne Cougars, they have a lot more on their roster, and they're looking to snatch back this Mayor's Cup to Hawthorne.
Well, they're looking to. Hawthorne's had a long, tough streak over the last 11 years in this contest. They've only won once, and that was in 2011, since 2001. So Leuzinger has really dominated this, and as the mayor says, I'm sure they're hoping to maintain their streak, which they started last year, or restarted, with a 34-20 win last year. So it should be a good matchup, though, a good crosstown rivalry. We've seen lots of them, and this promises to be as good as any as we've ever seen.
And Coach Jenkins with the Olympians, a little bit thin in the roster, but they have a lot of speed and a lot of heart.
They've got a lot of speed, a lot of heart. Number 5, Edson Santos, is the guy that makes that team go. It's been a tough season thus far, but this is the kind of game. Hey, it's a triple header tonight, fans. Not only is it the Mayor's Cup, it's Leuzinger's homecoming, and it's the rededication of the Olympic torch. So there's a lot of festivity in the air and a lot of reasons, if you're a fan of the Leuzinger Olympians, to be proud, and if you're a fan of the Hawthorne Cougars, you've made the ride across town and you want to play the role of spoiler.
So that's it. So we're going to go to the rededication of the Olympic trophy, or the Olympic torch that's right behind us, and the kickoff is right after that on City TV. And we just saw the rededication of the Olympian torch, and Rufus, that was terrific.
That was an outstanding ceremony at exactly 6:56 p.m. 50 years later, Lou.
Wow.
It was dedicated.
And that was Wes Reiser, class of 1963, which is being honored here tonight. And let's go to the coin toss right now, see what's going on. And the referee is?
The referee is Tony DeVeers. And we'll get you the rest of his crew right after he finishes his work right here. Sometimes the most important part of the game, Lou.
Here we go. Leuzinger will receive the ball in the first half. Going away from the scoreboard. All right, gentlemen, bring it in. Shake hands. Let's get them on the field.
All right, there we have it. The Olympians will get the ball and go from left to right across your dial on City TV. Also, Michelle Zico was one of the torch runners as well from the current class, as Wes Reiser was a track star back in 1963. And Coach Z was saying a former Olympian. I think it's kind of like the Marines. You're never a former Marine and you're never a former Olympian.
There you go. An Olympian for life.
And it is homecoming, and what a festive night it is. Everybody having a great time out in the foyer, as it were, or the area outside the stadium before the game. And we heard lots of music and lots of going on there. And the mayor's here. The mayor of Lawndale is in town, or in the stands. Of course he's in town. It's his town.
There you go. No, but it should be a great game tonight. You're right, so many things going on. As you mentioned, Certainly not the least of which is the Mayor's Cup, which is an annual matchup between these two schools, Leuzinger and Hawthorne. And, of course, you have homecoming as well. And now we're going to have the marching band's rendition of the national anthem.
The Leuzinger Olympian Marching Band with the stirring rendition of our national anthem. They may not be the biggest in numbers, but boy, they sure got it done.
They got it done as they always do.
And just going over the standings, Rufus, in the Ocean Football League, even though there are no league games in progress yet, this is the last game before league, as Hawthorne with a 1-3 record are tied with Culver City and Inglewood at 1-3. Morningside holds a 3-2 record, and Santa Monica has a 2-2 record. And in the Bay League, Leuzinger is holding up the league at 0-4. West is up at the top at 4-0. Last year, these Olympians won their only game 34-20 at Hawthorne, and that was on the 28th of September.
And you know, when I look at those numbers for both teams, it really, even though the records are nearly identical, although Lawndale is 1-3 and Leuzinger is 0-4, you look inside the numbers, and boy, Leuzinger has struggled offensively and defensively. Through 4 games, they've only scored 22 points. That's a little over 5 points a game, and they've given up 200, which is an average of 50 points a game. It's hard to win when you're getting outscored on average 50-5.
Sure is. Khalil Miller and Nathaniel Vaughn. And it's going to be Miller at about his own 8-yard line after the kick of Miguel Hernandez. And look out, Miller's still on his feet, gets up to about the 30-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Olympians.
That's an excellent start for them because, boy, it's going to give them great field position as they spot the ball at the Olympian 40-yard line. So an excellent return by Khalil Miller.
Edson Santos will be the quarterback against this fast Cougar defense. Jameer Mulligan splits out. Well, actually, he comes out of the ball game. Tymar Holiness is also out there. Vaughn gets the handoff, trying to turn the corner, and he gets hit pretty good over there along the far sideline. Rafael Garcia, one of the Cougars, to get his man. Maybe a yard gain on that one, Rufus.
Maybe a yard at most. Boy, there's going to be a lot of hitting here. You saw Vaughn just could not get turned around and coming and giving him a lick from behind. Was number 4 for the Cougars, and we'll tell you that that's Ryan Smith.
Angelo Smith split out to the near side. Also there is Nathaniel Vaughn. And already a timeout called by Coach Ronald Jenkins. Running back is Adrian Galera with Santos, but already a timeout.
So in the early going, boy, only about 40 seconds elapsed, 45 seconds, and already Coach Jenkins
doesn't like something that he sees, wants to get his guys settled down and going in the right direction here early. One, they want to take advantage of this excellent field position that they got on the kickoff return. But right now it's going to be 2nd and long for him.
Galera to the right of Santos. 2nd down and a long 9. Play fake and over the head of Vaughn. And it'll be 3rd down and long. But a good throw, a good ball thrown by Santos. He had a little bit of time and did have some pressure, as you saw there, by Angel Haro.
Saw Santos play his heart out a couple of weeks ago against the Cardinals of Lawndale. Another effort where the score somewhat deceptive of how much Leuzinger was in that game, but just couldn't catch the breaks that they needed. A couple of turnovers put them in bad position. Score not indicative of how close the contest actually was.
Now it's 3rd and 15 after the false start. Seemed like the whole right side of the line took off. Santos, and almost intercepted over on the far sideline by Pablo Bernal. And now it's going to be 4th and 15.
Got another one of those situations, Lou, where the Olympians not able to capitalize or even move the ball and help out their defense by, you start out with excellent field position at your own 40, and in fact you go back 5 yards to the 35-yard line.
It's like Eddie Thomas or Jermaine Martin. I can't tell if that's a 2 or a 6 for Hawthorne. Doesn't have a number on his shoulder. Vaughn is the punter now.
And that one was nearly blocked. It's going to take a good Olympian roll, though.
It's going to land right on the 35-yard line, and that was Eddie Thomas. So it's 1st and 10 for the Cougars, their first possession at their own 35.
All things considered, not bad defensive field position for the Olympians as we see them on offense for the first time tonight. But also, for me, this is my first look this year at the Cougars of Hawthorne.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October, among other things in October, and so you see a lot of pink this month. Washington passes it out in the flat. It's complete for about a 12-yard gain, and it'll be 1st and 10, the completion to Eddie Thomas. Going to call it an 11-yard gain.
So 1 play, 1 pass, 1 first down.
1st and 10 from the 45.
Washington pitches it to Paris, gets across midfield. And Paris McDaniel down to the 46-yard line of Leuzinger. And that's about an 8-yard gain, Rufus.
Good pickup on the play by the Cougars. They run, talking to Coach Paisinger earlier, their version of the spread offense, as does just about everybody today, with a few modifications to it. Leuzinger with 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers.
Out of the eye, McDaniel gets across the 45 and the 40 and is downed at about the 40-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 at Leuzinger 40-yard line. So a 6-yard gain for Paris McDaniel.
So right now in this first drive of the game, the Cardinals have picked up over 20 yards on the ground.
Play action by Washington. Throws on the run, and it's knocked out of bounds, and a nice defensive play by Edson Santos. And the ball was intended for Javante Jackson.
Santos right on top of that play, though. Good defensive coverage. Pretty good throw by Washington. May have hung it up just a little bit too long as he was rolling out. And as you can see in the replay, Santos had an excellent bead on it.
Also some pressure on Washington as he threw the ball. 9:40 left to go in the first quarter on homecoming and Mayor's Cup night at Olympian Field. Washington hands the ball off to McDaniel. McDaniel squirts through a nice hole. Down inside the 35-yard line to about the 33. So it'll be third down at about 3.
And again, the Olympians picking up big chunks of yard. Not the Olympians, but the Cougars, rather. The Olympians giving up huge chunks.
Offensive line is big and experienced for the Cougars, as the Olympians appear to be in a 3-4. McDaniel gets across the 30-yard line.
That's enough for another first down as we look at the officials coming in and see the indication that it is a first down inside the 30 at about the 29-yard line.
So it looks like Paysinger and the Cougars are content with starting a running game here. Actually, a nice pushback by the Olympians, but it was too little too late. Double tight end set for the Cougars. Pass on the flat, and that's complete to Jackson. Jackson getting down beyond the 20-yard line, and that might be good enough for another first down to about the 18.
Looks like it will be, Lou, and what, there's equipment flying all over the field. But and as you mentioned, another first down for the Cougars as they're now inside the 20.
First and 10 for the Cougars.
See what their red zone offense looks like.
A spread offense now. Washington across the middle, and that's in and out of the hands of Dylan Hunter. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I don't know. See on the replay there, Dylan Hunter may have made a business decision on that play.
Well, he didn't want to be an Olympian sandwich between Santos and Miller. 8:30 left to go in the first quarter. Scoreboard underneath a bright burning torch. Washington is hit out of bounds and maybe gets about 3 yards down to the 15-yard line, so it'll be third down.
And Angelo Smith on the pursuit. Adrian Galera finished him up on the outside. There you see Smith, number 8, and then Galera
flying
over, and also in on the play was Markel Allen.
So it'll be third down at about 6. Paris McDaniel is caught. Is that Galera? Nope.
But number 57 certainly was there, and that was Andrew Harvey.
Maybe Taryn Hudson as well, number 42. But yep, Mr. Harvey. But Taryn Hudson was the first Olympian. And that's a loss of a yard, Rufus, back to about the 16.
And it's a fourth down, by the way. It's a fourth and about 8 for the first down. You would think, well, they're showing that they're going to kick it. As I mentioned, have not seen this Cougar team this season, but looks like they've got confidence in their kicking unit. At least they bring their kicker out to attempt a field goal.
Miguel Hernandez, pretty good kicker. It's going to be out of the hold of Pablo Bernal, the backup quarterback. Nice snap. The kick is up. It looks like it's going to be wide to the left. And no, it goes through with 7:27 left to go. And
that's a 33-yard field goal. Kicked it from the 23 plus the 10 in the end zone, 33 yards on the field goal.
And that kick was made by Hernandez, a nicely done kick. Looked like it was going to hook left, but that went through the uprights. And we've always said through the years, Rufus, how important that kicking game is.
Well, we've said it. I don't think anybody's heard us say it, though, because it's definitely not one of the stronger parts of our local teams in the special teams unit is the kicking game.
So a 65-yard drive and 10 plays at 7:27. So it took 3.5 minutes. Ball is dropped by Miller, and it went into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. First and 10 for the Olympians, and let's see if they can answer.
Automatic at this level, so Edson Santos brings out his offensive unit. I think as you mentioned at the top of the show, just a little bit thin in terms of numbers here. As this Leuzinger program grows toward the future, you got to have more bodies than what they've got. They've got, what, maybe 22 guys, 23 guys?
Well, there might be around 23, 24 because the roster that was emailed to me by Coach Jenkins had a few more numbers on it than the last time we were
I think
here.
some of those kids are honor society kids. Not that they can't be football players, but.
And good pursuit as Adrian Galera was buried. Bernal was one of the first Cougars there. So it'll be about a 1-yard gain.
So the Olympians' second possession of the game. Smith keeping on the ground, going around the right side before he stacked up.
Harrow was the first man to hit him, and he was in there in the backfield. So Galera, again, real estate's tough to come by. Maybe gets 2 yards up to the 23. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Leuzinger.
And that's a position you don't want to be in at any level, Lou. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and long. It's definitely makes it tough sledding for your offense all night long when you find yourself in 3rd and long situation.
Angelo Smith, the big wide receiver, 6'1", split out to the near side along with Markel Allen. Santos, pass is complete. No flag, should be a 1st down at the 36-yard line, and that was complete to Nathaniel Vaughn.
Excellent throw by Santos to hit his receiver, Nathaniel Vaughn. Went right over the middle. A lot of credit there to Vaughn.
So a 13-yard pass. Spread offense. Ooh, look out. And there's our defensive man there, Angel Harrow.
Wow.
Along with Andrew McLennan.
And I want to see, okay.
That's
well,
Andrew
I guess that's
McLennan
legal.
there.
Man, that was across the front. Thought that was a horse collar for a second.
Santos keeping the ball.
Wow.
It's loose. Cougars all over it. And
Well,
do
still
they
loose.
recover? Leuzinger Olympians down under there as well.
Referee seems to indicate that Leuzinger maintains possession of the ball.
And getting up off the bottom of the pile is number 11. That's Markel Allen.
And it was loose for a while, as you're going to see here on the replay.
Carrying
Santos
it
decides
like a loaf
to
of
turn.
bread.
There you go. Got it knocked away from him.
So a loss on the play. Back to the 31. So it's 3rd and 15. Over the middle. And we have a penalty flag, but Vaughn gets close to a 1st down to the 46. So we'll see what the flag is.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the flag is. And I got to tell you, I thought maybe there should definitely that time. I thought I was definite that I saw a horse collar. May or may not have, but they're talking to the Hawthorne Cougars. So it looks like this flag's going to go against the Olympian.
Well, the flag came way before the horse collar. Let's see what Tony DeVeris. Was that an illegal shift?
Well, it looks like a call is an illegal substitution, but we'll see. I should have remembered that one.
At any rate, that's a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to be 3rd down and 20.
Yep. So he had an eligible man downfield on the play.
Looked like Santos was he threw it off his back foot, tried to hit Vaughn. That wounded duck landed harmlessly at about the 42-yard line. He had 2 Cougars in there. So now it's going to be 4th and 20.
So the Cougars had a bright moment on the drive, but they still not able to sustain it. So now they find themselves once again having to punt it away for the second time here in the first quarter of the 2013 Mayor's Cup and Homecoming.
Eddie Thomas back at about his own 38-yard line, waiting for Nathaniel Vaughn's punt. Straight up in the air. And it takes a Leuzinger bounce. It's going to give the Cougars great field position.
Yeah, anytime you start in your opponent's territory, that's good field position. There you see Coach Jenkins talking to one of his guys. From looks of it, it was Guerrera. Couldn't see both numbers, or I should say Galera, Adrian Galera.
So 4:56 left to go. And Ryan Washington, let's check that, Patrick Washington, hands the ball off to Paris McDaniel, turns the corner, maybe gets a yard. Good pursuit by the Olympian defense. Brendan Walker trying to lead the way on blocking there.
The Olympian D thus far, and boy, they've been pushed around over the course of this season, as I mentioned, but thus far tonight, here in the early going, we're in first quarter action, they've looked pretty good. They've showed a lot of resolve.
Man in motion, Washington throws to the right side. Pass is complete to Martin, and he has some running room. Close to the 35-yard line, maybe the 37. So a 7-yard gain. Third and about 3, McDaniel turns the corner, gets the first down at about the 34-yard line.
You had number 55, Fakavas Suliasi, who was there, I should say Suliasi Fakava. But he just couldn't wrap him up. Had a chance to stop him short of that first down.
3:35 left to go in the first quarter. Washington hands it off to McDaniel, going left again. A lot more room, has a first down. This time it's almost to the 20-yard line, Rufus. And a first down for the Cougars. The 14-yard gain.
Yep, they're moving the chains. A little winded on the part of the Leuzinger defense. Again, it goes back to the fact of how thin they are in numbers.
That's the longest run out of 8 for Paris McDaniels, and 14 yards and a first down. Handoff to the right now. McDaniel tripped up by Vaughn, but still gets all the way down to about the 12-yard line. And an 8-yard gain.
And guess who was in on that tackle? None other than number 5, Edson Santos. You'll see him come in right there.
Dylan Hunter split to the near side, and Thomas to the right. Ryan looking for his man out of the flat. Is it picked off? Yes, it is.
So that's
looked like it was Markel Allen.
Yep, and that was the break they were looking for. Boy, the ball bounced off his intended receiver's hands. There you see Washington laying back, puts it up a little bit high. And Allen with the touchdown saving interception.
First and 10, what is that, about the 6-yard line or the 5? We'll call it the 5.
This, of course, is dangerous territory here for the Olympians. You got to protect the ball.
Good pursuit all the way back to the goal line, but we'll see what the forward progress was to the 4.
Right. Looks like they're going to give him a line of scrimmage.
Brian Gonzalez was there to make the initial hit and drive him back, along with Marquise Edwards. Santos, nice pass and catch to Allen.
That should be enough for a first down, Lou.
You're right, Rufus. That's down to about the 18-yard line.
And that's good. That gets them out of the shadow of their own goal post, which you had to be anytime you get the ball there. You're happy you got it, but that's the worst place on the field to get it. But they give themselves some breathing room.
Santos probably should have kept it. That was almost picked off,
Wow.
Is it?
Looks like it is.
Yes, it is. And that was Thomas. Eddie Thomas with the pick. Santos, I was going to say, probably should have just kept it and ran.
Well, I think after seeing what happened to a couple of quarterbacks in the NFL last night, we're running the ball. Both E.J. Manuel for the Buffalo Bills and Hoyle for the Cleveland football team.
The Browns, you mean?
The Browns. The Browns. I'm thinking Indians. And I'm thinking all kinds of Cleveland teams. Yeah.
So from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 at the Leuzinger 20, Paris McDaniel gets hit at the line of scrimmage, but still manages to struggle forward to the 19. That was the 10th carry already for Paris McDaniel, with 1:25 left to go in the first quarter, Rufus.
And the challenge here, Lou, is for the Leuzinger defense, which had forced a turnover, but they turned the ball right back over. So we got matching turnovers here in the first quarter.
Alberto Perez, the big freshman. Oh, look out. Almost tackled in the backfield was Washington, but he gets going and is finally spun down by Andrew Harvey. And that's a gain almost to the 10-yard line, Rufus. So to about, what, the 12-yard line.
That's
Watch
right.
this near miss. Woof.
You know, and it's those sorts of things, those misses, that make a big difference in the outcome of the game.
So it's 3rd down at about 2. Double tight end set. McDaniel to the left. Has to go back inside, but it looks like it's enough for a first down, and it is. Inside the 10-yard line to the 8.
Which will make it a 1st and goal from here. It'll probably be the last play of the first quarter. You got a 25-second play clock and no need to snap it with 16 seconds left on the game clock.
And Washington in no hurry, really, as he's looking up at the clock now. Out of the eye. And that's going to do it for the first quarter of play. 3-0 in favor of the Cougars on Leuzinger's homecoming night. Also, Mayor's Cup is on the line. Hawthorne trying to get it back in their territory, and the torch is lighting it up. It looks beautiful. We had a beautiful sunset tonight over the South Bay.
Had a beautifully warm day all over the Southland today.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Let's go down, speaking of hot, let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. Well, a huge game here, the Mayor's Cup, a 16th annual one here tonight. Out of the last 12 years, only won by Hawthorne one time, and that was in 2011. The Olympians regained it back last year with a 34-20 victory. 2 facts about last year's game. The last year's Olympian team came in 0-4. This year Olympian teams come into this Mayor Cup 0-4 as well. The last year team got their first victory of the season against Hawthorne in the Mayor's Cup. This team looks to do the same thing, and to top it all off, it's homecoming night. I'm excited for the rest of the game and have the best seat in the house. Guys, back to you.
46 yards on 11 carries for Paris McDaniel in the first quarter, Rufus. He was responsible for 1, 2, 3, 4 first downs. And one interception for each quarterback. And we're just about ready to get the second quarter underway. Yeah, it was a hot and windy day all around.
But it's an excellent football night here at Lou House.
Wow, I can't. You must have had the clicker going wild last night. Did you wear your thumb out?
Yeah.
Because you had the Dodgers, you had the Bruins, and then you had the NFL.
Yeah, and I caught a little piece of all of them.
And we had a flag on the play. And so now half of the distance to the goal, so it's at the 4-yard line. So it's a touchdown. As Paris McDaniel runs for 4 yards in the score to make it 9-0.
Touchdown Cougars. In what, the first 3 seconds of the quarter?
Well, there was a penalty. Don't know what the penalty was, but Paris McDaniel burrows his way into the end zone. It's now Miguel Hernandez getting ready to tack it on as we have a little bit of confusion on the setup. We have a timeout. Is that a timeout called by Coach Pasinger, and he's not too happy with his special teams fellas because he's going out on the field to talk to his Cougars. So after the interception, Rufus, it was a five-play drive, and a minute and 50 seconds, and a total of 20 yards.
It was the interception after the interception. Leuzinger had done themselves well on the first drive when Hawthorne was down at their 5-yard line, and they intercepted at the goal line. But boy, they turned around and gave it right back to him, courtesy of an interception.
Hernandez nails the extra points with 11:56 left to go in the half. It's 10-0 in favor of the Cougars. It should be 10-0.
They'll get it all that. Yep. Well, we got it.
We got it right. Our guys know how to use their fingers and toes. I believe that only counts as 1. So it shows 11-0, but it is, in fact, 10-0.
They'll get it straight in a second.
So 12 yards, or 12 carries for Paris McDaniel, and she's playing hide and seek with our cameraman. Miguel Hernandez getting ready to kick the ball off to Khalil Miller. So a turnover turns into 7 points for the Cougars. Miller at his own goal line and gets buried at the 20-yard line. And we have a flag come flying in from way downtown. Tackle was made by Marquise Edwards. Wow. So let's see what that is all about.
That one will be interesting to see. It's going against the Olympians.
It's an illegal block. So that's going to go. Let's see if we can see. There it is.
Yep.
Terrell Hudson, or Taryn Hudson.
Could have been a block in the back. Could have been unnecessary roughness. The play had essentially ended when that block was made.
Welcome back to all the former Olympians in the building tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
So you saw Coach Perkins talking to Vaughn, looking at the play wristband. So this is going to start off 1st and 10 at the 10. With 11:50 left to go in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 10 for the Olympians after the infraction was assessed.
Vaughn is the new quarterback, along with Miller at the running back.
Miller in the backfield.
Well, we'll see what Vaughn does differently than Edson Santos. At least he's taking a moment to get his players aligned correctly.
And in right away are the Cougars on defense. Ryan Smith was in there. And did I see a number 99 in there? Or 59 maybe? That was Rafael Garcia in there as well.
And that play took a while to develop, Lou. That was the first thing that went wrong for the Olympians on that one.
So a loss on the play of 3 yards.
Need to get out to the 20. They're back at about the 7-yard line.
Well, they need to get to the 20-yard line for a first down. So 2nd down and 13.
2nd and 13.
So the Olympians are learning on the job, Rufus. And now we have too much time.
Yep.
So that'll go back.
Another 2.5 yards. It's a 5-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal.
So 3 yards, that'll go back to about the 3.5, 4 yards.
Second and nearly 20 yards. 2nd and about 18 for the Olympians.
So 3 receivers to the right, to the far side, to the left, I should say, and 1 to the near side. Vaughn's going to try to do it himself, being chased down laterally and finally plunked down by Edwards. It'll be 3rd down. I don't know if Vaughn got any yardage out of that or not.
And I think this is where, as you look to move the ball up the field, and they've got to go 15 yards to pick up the first, Lou. I'm not sure I want to go across the middle on this, but maybe something toward the sideline, such that if it's not caught, you protect yourself from a possible interception.
Naked in the backfield is Vaughn as he tries to do it himself, loses the ball, picked up by the Cougars, and
got a touchdown.
It's in the end zone, a touchdown for the Cougars on the fumble recovery, and that was Chris Sparks. Sparks picked it up and ran it back in.
Okay, Chris Sparks, that's who you've got on your roster. So we'll go with that. Number 20, Chris Sparks.
Sparks picked it up at about the 9-yard line.
So they're going to call it a, wow.
So that makes it
fumble return.
16, and now a little bit of a gadget play. They tried to get it on the 2-point conversion, and that's no good. So it's 16-0. Do you not have a, you have that roster?
I have that roster. So
the online roster. This is a Coach Pasinger roster.
A Coach Pasinger provided roster.
That's the 2-point conversion that didn't go through. So Sparks with the fumble recovery, and a touchdown by the defense. Let me reconfigure my books here so you can look at it. 9:52 left to go in the second quarter. Hernandez getting ready to kick the ball off to Miller.
And his kick is up.
Gets it at about the 10-yard line. Vaughn in front of him for blocking. Gets a good block. Spins his way up to about the 35. We'll call it the 38, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Leuzinger on a good return of about 28 yards.
And that's a couple that Miller has had tonight. I'll give you that back. Put that there. Thank you, sir.
Put that there. Put this one over here. Doing some some organizing. And me and organization are like oil and water.
Well, let's see if the Olympian offense, now they bring Edson Santos, number 5, the regular starting QB, back.
And throws it immediately to Vaughn. And now we have flags flying all over the place and about a 9-yard gain to the 47.
Maybe face masking, but we'll see. That is the call against the Cardinals.
That's going to tack on another 10 yards.
So it was against the Cougars.
He's telling them that the score on the scoreboard
it's 16.
Is incorrect. It should be 16 to nothing.
16 to nothing.
1st and 10 for the Olympians.
Okay, now let me see if I can catch up with all of this here.
35.
At the 36-yard line.
Wow, and yep, that's what I thought I saw too. That's another interference. That one called by the back judge. And that gives us a chance while they sort out this flag, which shouldn't be interference against Hawthorne. The officiating crew for tonight's contest, referee Tony DeVeers, the umpire Dean Rice, head linesman Michael Wainwright. As DeVeers, the referee, gives the indication that was a foul against the Cardinals, the Cougars.
So pass interference. And that's an automatic 1st down to the 20-yard line, we'll call it.
And to finish the crew, the line judge is Wayman Wiley, and the back judge is Dion Wise.
After that infraction against the Cougars, pass interference called on the play.
So now Leuzinger has a chance to break the goose egg with 9:27 left to go in the half. Santos has Galera back with him in the backfield. Looking to the right side, going for the end zone, was tripped up.
Another flag.
And that is a flag.
Yep.
That looked like incidental contact to me.
But it was enough contact that it knocked the receiver off the route, which you cannot do. Now, you're right, it's one of those, and they will allow for that sometimes.
Here we go,
Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we've got on the replay.
Let's see the call.
Because if it stands, it's going to give the Olympians excellent field position.
The pass interference. Now let's see if we can see the trip. Well, it was a little bit too late, but the tip was made by Pablo Bernal. Maybe if we can see that replay a little bit back. So it's now at the
After the infraction, it'll be 1st and 10
should be 1st and every seat.
for the Olympians.
Yeah, see the extended hands?
There you
I
go,
think
yeah.
that's what the officials saw was extended hands, which made the call a little bit easy. They enforced this instead of at the spot of the foul, which was inside the 10. It's one of those that they enforce from the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 1st down.
Should be from the 10.
1st and 10 for the Olympians.
Trying to see, so it appears that by the thinnest of
And we have a
margins.
timeout called by the Cougars.
So the Cougars use their second timeout here in the 1st half. They've got one left.
Let's hear it once
Got
again for the
Stars
Leuzinger
coming back for homecoming.
Doing a great job.
Stars coming back for homecoming here.
The illustrious just the God.
That's right. Our basketball buddy.
There you go.
Man, what was it? Well, he was on the football team for a year, 3 years with the varsity basketball team, and good to see you, bud. Things going okay? All right. He's looking good, too.
Absolutely. Man, if only I could look that young again. I got to find the fountain of youth.
Justin Delgado, one of our favorite Olympians. So timeout taken by the Cougars. They have 2 left, as do the Olympians.
Once again, after the timeout, it's going to be first and 10.
Look at that. We got some more. That's a snakeskin baseball jersey. That is too cool.
Good call there by the Olympian coaching staff. That gets him down inside the 5-yard line. On the reception, again, Adrian Galera.
Second and about 5 for the Olympians.
So a nice swing pass to Galera. So it's 2nd down and 5. Santos, immediate throws. Oh, trying to get Allen in the flat. Zipped it a little bit too low and outside. So it'll be 3rd down.
And the key here, Lou, here's what the whole Olympian nation is looking at. This is an opportunity. You're first and 10 at the 10-yard line. Boy, you can pick up a first, but you'd only be an inch from the goal line anyway. And you may as well put your foot over the goal line if you're that close, right? And get the touchdown. So it's 3rd and goal from about the 5-yard line.
3 receivers now on the right side. Santos, look out. Still up and is sacked back at the 10-yard line, and now a flag comes up.
Wow. And that was a late flag, and it came in by the referee. I think the upshot out of all this is going to be that the Olympians are going to end up with what should be an automatic 1st down. Still waiting for him to sort the flag out for us. There's the referee, Tony DeVeers. Wait a minute. Personal foul.
Personal foul. Let's get Egidio real quick. Timeout. Okay, so let's get back to Egidio soon. There's a timeout on the field taken by Leuzinger. That's their 2nd timeout. So let's go, let's watch this infraction, see if we can find it.
Don't see it there. Okay.
Maybe a little bit of woofing going on.
Well, it was either that, I saw what appeared to be the horse collar early in the game. They didn't call it, but let's go down to Egidio sideline.
Thank you, guys. Well, the Leuzinger Olympians here trying to get their first W of the season here in the Mayor's Cup. They're driving, and it's led by quarterback Edson Santos, who I talked to a little earlier this week, and I said, what does this game mean to you? He said it's a big rivalry game, and it's bragging rights. They want to keep the trophy right where it's at Leuzinger High. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Egidio. I see it's not a 1st down, Rufus. I see it's a 4th down. It's not an automatic. It's either that or it's not marked properly.
Well, I don't think it's marked properly. I've never seen a personal foul not be an automatic 1st down.
The chain gang has it 4th down.
And you've got the head linesman that's over there right beside him. So perhaps it is. That's an interesting one. That's one hopefully we can check into.
Santos into the end zone, caught. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
Wow.
Nathaniel Vaughn. On homecoming night makes it 16-6, so I guess it doesn't matter anyway. So Santos, 4 yards to Vaughn.
Nice touchdown play there. A key opportunity that the Olympians took advantage of. It's now a 16-6 game. They're very much within striking distance here with an opportunity to draw even closer on the extra point attempt. And now they're going to have to burn
their third and final timeout here in the first half.
On special teams, no less. So maybe they wanted to try to go for 2. So it was a 7-play, 62-yard drive. Three and a half minutes. Santos to Vaughn. So that's it as far as timeouts for Leuzinger.
And we've still got lots of time left here. You see on the replay, boy, throws into lots of traffic. But
Beautiful
man,
throw.
hits his guy right on the number.
That's what you want to do. Right in between 2 Cougars. And there you see Nathaniel Vaughn, 5'11", 165-pound junior. Also the backup quarterback. They're going to go for 2 here, Rufus. 3 receivers to the left. Now it's 2 on each side with Miller in motion. Or Allen in motion. Santos trying to do it himself. Gets pushed in. Did he make it? Yes, he did. So with 8:28 left to go, actually, that clock shouldn't have been rolling. It should be 18-6, or 16-8.
Right.
Now look at the blocking up front. He just did it himself, Rufus.
Did all on his own. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a ball game, Lou, at 16-8. Favor of the Cougars, but the Olympians are back in it with lots of time left here in the first half. 8:28, as you see on your scoreboard.
So this has been a little bit of a wacky one, but a nice comeback by the Olympians after the interception for touchdown, or actually the fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Right, a very nice comeback by the Olympians. Excellent way to respond with a score of their own. Of course, helped out by a couple of penalties called against the Cougars.
Of course, I'm sure they would rather have it to be 10-8,
Right.
which it could have been when the fumble was recovered at the 9-yard line. Kicking the ball off is Christopher Wright, not Garcia.
I'm told the issue was they couldn't find the kicking team. Wow, can't let him get away.
Thomas is gonna go. Thomas has one man to beat. Thomas is gone.
Wow.
Touchdown, Hawthorne. And that was by Eddie Thomas.
And that was from about 75 yards away, if we can see. Well, actually, I don't think it was that far on second thought.
It was about, it could have been about that. Let's see where he picks it up.
Well,
Fumbles it
actually,
at
it
the
is
20, at the 20-yard line, so that's 80 yards.
Okay. Wow.
So Eddie Thomas.
Yeah, stop calling me.
So let's see what the Cougars are going to do now. So the Cougars offense has scored 1 touchdown. Kick is up and good by Hernandez. So it's 23-8 with 8:16 left in the second quarter. Did I mention that this has been a little wacky?
You had just said that.
And your Olympians 8.
And just when the Olympians are back in it and simply needed a special teams play to go their way, instead they have it go the other way against them for 80 yards on the kickoff return by Eddie Thomas that takes a 16-8 lead out to 23-8.
Dylan Hunter you saw running off there. And Khalil Miller back to receive the kickoff at about his own 5-yard line. Hernandez teeing the ball up. So right after Santos got the first touchdown for the Olympians with a 4-yard pass to Vaughn. Eddie Thomas scampers 80 yards to get it back. Hernandez is a line drive, and Miller, or check that, Allen just lets it go into the end zone for a touchback. So 8:16 left in the second quarter.
Wow. And we've had 15 points scored in a matter of about 16 seconds. The Olympians scored at 8:33, and at 8:16, Hawthorne returned the favor.
Jameer Mulligan comes out. Leuzinger taking a little bit of time getting the play called.
First and 10 for the Olympians. At the
Be Khalil Miller.
Santos.
Santos will be under center.
Miller in the backfield.
Vaughn in motion. Ball is handed off to Vaughn. Vaughn has a little bit of room.
Up the right side.
Picks his way up to about the 27-yard line.
There's a late flag that comes in from behind, thrown by the referee, Tony DeVeers.
Flag on the play.
Okay.
No flag. He just wanted to let the pink fly.
I see that, you know. And it flew. Although it's kind of interesting, you know, when you throw your flag, I mean, but anyway.
So Vaughn
Classic.
with a 7-yard gain.
Classic case, I didn't see what I thought I saw.
And a nice run, still on his feet is Miller. Did he get to the 30-yard line?
And now you got another flag. Let's see if this one's for real.
Ball is marked as a 30.
Cheetos and Doritos hot can be delivered to you right at your seat. You just gotta holler at one of the people selling from ASB, Miss Yang's table.
Personal foul against the Olympians. Boy.
That's right.
So from the mark, it's going to go back to the original line of scrimmage.
Service to you.
I think it was the running back in there, and that's Miller.
There's a push in the back by Vaughn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Miller is obviously taking exception, and there's
took a shot.
Yeah.
Against the Olympians, that's going to bring him back about 10 yards. That's going to be second.
So it'll be 2nd and 10.
Right. 2nd and 10. And they
Actually,
don't have
2nd and 15. That was a 15-yarder. And it's going to be a lot longer, Rufus, on the loss, as the ball was handed off to Gallara, and he goes backwards to about the 11.
Okay.
So a loss on the play. I'm going to call that 4.
Here we go, Olympians.
Okay, Tony G certainly does a great job of keeping the crowd inspired and fired up, boy. When he sees their enthusiasm starting to wane just a little bit, he goes back with the Lou House cheer, and that gets him going. And now
do we have
got
a fumble?
the indication that there may be a fumble on the play.
And it is. It was picked up by Ryan Smith, Rufus.
And it's going to be recovered by the Cougars.
So this, Lou, as I talked about earlier, one of those situations, boy, where bad break after bad break starts to go against you. And that's what's happening now for the Olympians. So they fumble it deep in their own territory. Looks like the ball is going to be spotted at about the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal. They're showing from the 10-yard line.
Washington under
Yep.
center.
You are correct, sir. So we'll see now that flags on the play after the snap. Illegal procedure by the Cougars. So that's the third turnover by the Olympians. An interception and 2 fumbles.
That's real key. And those fumbles have given them, well, one fumble was picked up for a touchdown, and this one gives them the ball in excellent field position.
First and goal from the 15, but that doesn't fool the Olympians defense. Junior Fakava pushes it back. And forward progress to the 19. So a loss on the play of 4 yards. It'll be second down and goal from the 19.
So a good opportunity here if the Olympian defense can step up to the challenge, Lou. And you got to say, in all fairness to them, boy, their offense has put them in some very, very difficult situations, and this is yet another one of them. Should be a delay of game here.
And on that side, might be an offside.
Well,
false start.
It is.
False start called against the Cougars once again. Let me hear you say, oh, yeah.
Coming in the ball game is Ahmad Taylor, a sophomore. Coming out of the ball game is Angelo Smith, getting some more beef in there. So we see the replay, Rufus.
Second and goal.
Looking for the false start.
At about the 25-yard line.
So from the 24-yard line, it's first and goal, or second and goal, excuse me.
Took place at the 10-yard line.
Back to pass is Washington, floats it up there.
Wow.
And
now you're going to have, looks like it's going to be interference calls against the Olympians. Now, if form holds true, what's going to be good about this, Lou, is that these 10 yards will be marked off from the line of scrimmage as opposed to the point of the foul, which still gives that Leuzinger defense some breathing room.
And here comes the call from Tony DeVeris.
So we had offsetting penalties, still second down.
So there are penalties on the play, but it's going to be offsetting.
So, yep, second down and goal from the 24 once again. So it's a do-over.
So they had an illegal man downfield, did the Cougars, and the Olympians had pass interference. So, you know, it's the Olympians that caught the big break on that one, Lou.
Yep. Washington now going for the end zone, has a man open, caught into the end zone, touchdown. That was Jermaine Martin with a 24-yard catch and score, and now we have a celebration foul.
Exactly.
And also, if we watch the replay here, see if he got away with a little push. Nope, he just beat his man. 5:33, the time of the touchdown.
We have cake for sale. We ran out of donuts, y'all, but we got cake. That's right. Olympians are trying to give you diabetes.
So there you see the penalty call. That'll be tacked on at the kickoff.
We got you some cake. So when you hang up the sugar, go ahead and make your way over to the cake table. Vanilla.
So that one took a while. Call that one wacky too.
Exactly. And one of those where you just had a defensive breakdown.
Hernandez kicks it through just barely through the right side. So the PAT is good, and that makes it 30-8.
Another one of those situations, Lou, where an unfortunate turn of events for the Olympians, boy, have them in a 30-8 hole. Remember, just 3 minutes ago, literally
3 minutes ago, 3 clock minutes ago, the score was 16-8.
Yep. But
and if you're the
touchdown,
Olympians,
an 80-yard touchdown.
I'm in the ball game. I got a shot at it, but you're right. They turn around and give up the 80-yard touchdown on the kickoff return. And the key to that was the fact that I'm told, or at least I overheard, that they couldn't find the kicking team.
So Hernandez all the way back to the 25-yard line after the excessive celebration penalty. So Miller trying to pick it up from his own 20. Exactly at the 20-yard line, has Vaughn in front of him. Miller gets down to up to about the 41-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Leuzinger with 5:26 left in the half.
And Miller's given them excellent field position on virtually every kickoff return, and this one is no different as it's out near the 40-yard line. I got to tell you, Miller's in the running already. We're just in first half action. He's already put his name in contention for that coveted tip of the hat award.
Former Olympians, we got my man Raynard Westbrook in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Do we have a baby bull sighting?
There he is. That's in.
He's been all over the social media, I know that.
Raynard Westbrook, a starting fullback and linebacker for the Olympians.
So let's see. Was there a penalty on the play? Yep. We're going to go back 5 yards.
He had a very successful campaign while here at Leuzinger, on this Leuzinger campus.
Now, is he going to Central Oklahoma now?
Yep, looking a little gimpy.
First and about 15, Santos back to pass.
And that one's too long. The ball was intended over on the far side by Angelo Smith and being covered nicely by Chris Sparks, who has a touchdown on the fumble recovery.
If you watch closely the Oklahoma Thunder, once in a while you'll see him at a Thunder game, down in a tunnel.
Yeah?
Of the arena. I wonder how.
Look out, Santos is wrapped up by Saul Sierra. And that goes all the way back to the 29-yard line, a loss of 7.
And now he's got another third in the whole bunch. Man, it looks like about a third and a 20-something. And it is 3rd and 20.
That's going to be 3rd and long for the Olympians. Santos shotgun formation.
So it'll be 3rd and about 22 yards. Santos being flushed out of the pocket again.
Let it go.
And completes the pass, but that was just to get rid of, so he didn't get hit.
Exactly.
That was Jamar Mulligan. Gets up to about the 30-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down at about 18.
This is a punting situation for the Olympians here. And once again, they're going to put their defense under extreme duress.
So 4th down and long. Vaughn will be kicking the ball to Pablo Bernal, standing at his own 36-yard line. 3:55 clock running in the second quarter.
Snaps up. Kick is up.
A short kick, and that almost hit the back of Drew Lands, but it's down at the 41-yard line, we'll call it.
Yep. Official spots
with
it right on
3:39.
the 40.
Okay, so we'll call it the 40.
Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the halftime
Almost hit
show.
Lands in the back.
Remember, once again, it is homecoming, and we got our
So it'll be 1st and 10
coming up at the half.
for the Cougars, who have a comfortable 30-8 lead, trying to take the Mayor's Cup back home with them.
For the second time in 3 years.
Austin
Washington gets sacked at about the 35-yard line. And that was Junior Fakava.
But there was a flag on the play.
Might have been a hold.
I think if you're the Olympians, you decline it and you take the result, you take the sack. If it is, in fact, against Hawthorne, but Hawthorne thinks it's against. Well, now, there's a pretty good indication. When you see the referee talking to the other guy, that means it's against you. So he's going over the options with number 4, Adrian Galera, who must be the captain of the defense.
So it is a hold against the Cougars, and Leuzinger will take the yardage. So this is going to go back to the 25-yard line. So instead of the line of scrimmage, they did it from the spot of the ball.
Yeah, from the spot of the foul, which was behind the line of scrimmage. So that became like a 15-yard penalty.
Yep. So it'll be 1st and 25. Washington hands it off to Paris. McDaniel trying to turn the corner. He has a blocker and gets up to the original line of scrimmage.
Now you
and
got
then
a
some.
flag, and a flag comes in from over on the far sideline, and Hawthorne thinks that it's against Lawndale.
Well, the officials are getting their aerobic exercise by throwing the flags all over the place tonight.
So let's see.
Personal foul against Leuzinger. So it's a 15-yard gain for McDaniel, but not a first down. But this is a first down, and that's another shot in the foot.
Now we'll see if we can spot where the foul occurred. Occurred over on the far sideline on that Hawthorne side of the field.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the Leuzinger 45. The man in the neighborhood was Nathaniel Vaughn for the Olympians. 3:23 clock running for the Cougars inside of Olympian territory. Washington looking to the left, throws left, over the middle. It's caught, and it's caught by Jermaine Martin. Martin still on the run, finally taken down inside the 20 at about the 15-yard line.
And that was Nathaniel Vaughn that took him down, number 3. Missed tackles early on. Could have stopped the big play.
So that's a 30-yard gain, Rufus.
And so just like that, knocking at the door again here with 2:55 clock running in the first half, already leading, as you see, by a margin of 30-8. Hawthorne knocking on the door once more.
3 receivers to the left of Washington. He'll pitch the ball to McDaniel. Has to go back the other way, gets a nice block. Washington leading the way now, and McDaniel goes into the end zone. What a terrific run by Paris McDaniel for a touchdown.
From about 15 yards out, another score for the Hawthorne Cougars, and they're exacting a measure of revenge for their loss from last season. As you see McDaniel coming in, reverses field completely, goes in the other direction, and untouched until he crosses the goal line.
So 2:33, a 15-yard run by Paris McDaniel, his second one of the night. After a 4-yard TD run. Now do we have another penalty? Touchdown was good. And a penalty against Leuzinger. So that should be tacked on at the kickoff. And now Hernandez on to tack on the extra point. Maybe.
Well, the old swinging gate extra point attempt.
Snaps up, kick is up,
Kick is right down the middle.
and it's good for the Cougars.
So with 2:33 left to go, it is 37-8 in favor of the Cougars,
With 2:33 left in the
stomping all over the homecoming dress.
Yeah, they're growling and prowling, brother. You know. And they've come over here to Olympian Stadium, and they've been on the prowl all night long. You know, but again, it's one of those situations where the score is actually deceptive when you look at the game and you look at how, you know, a couple of mistakes here, a couple of mistakes there, and while you find yourself out of the ball game before halftime. The other oddity, if you're in the numbers, is that they've scored at 8:33, 5:33, and 2:33.
Okay. At least it wasn't 3:33.
Yep.
In this
Of course,
month of Halloween.
We still got 2 more chances for that in the second half.
So now Hernandez getting ready to kick it off before they move it up 15 yards, the Leuzinger penalty.
Well, they're assessing the penalty.
There was a penalty after the touchdown.
It's a personal foul. Well,
after the infractions assessed, it's going to be Hernandez kicking off at the 45.
So now Khalil Miller standing at his own 5-yard line. It's squibbed. Miller picks it up at about his own 8. There he goes. Miller trying to get away and just couldn't get out of the paws of the Cougar defender. And that holding him up was Xavier Thomas before Miller was tackled, and he gave it an effort.
and he's been one man away a couple of times. And actually
that was number 9, Tremar Holiness. Or Holliness.
I think I'm going to say Holliness. I have a problem calling a guy in a football jersey Your Holiness.
Well, unless he was from Cathedral.
Right. But we're going to try Holliness for Tremar.
And if he was from Brazil, from Vatican High School.
There you go. But he's from Leuzinger. And then Leuzinger, Your Holliness.
So from the 32-yard line, Santos out of the shotgun. Gives it to Vaughn, or is that Vaughn right? Is that Vaughn at quarterback?
I think
yes, it was, because Santos is standing on the sideline. So he gets to about the 35-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 7. With 1:59 clock rolling. Santos on the sideline.
So if you're Leuzinger, obviously you'd love to score, but if you can't do that, you want to protect the ball and try to run this clock out here in the
Vaughn
first half.
On a Wildcat type of play. Kind of a misdirection up to the 42-yard line. It should be about a yard short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and nope. That's a first down. So that was a 7-yard gain, Rufus. Good enough for a first down.
Good enough for a first. Ball's out across the 40.
And Vaughn, well, with the clock rolling, these young Olympians need to get huddled up and going. Time's a wasting.
I'm not so sure they don't mind wasting some of this time.
2 receivers to the near side. Vaughn hands it off to Galera, gets hit in the backfield and barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe, yeah, he is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
They stopped the clock and let's just tell them.
Keep the clock rolling.
Yeah.
On a running play. So we'll call it a 1-yard gain for Galera. So it's second down and a long 9 on an already a long night with 40 seconds left to go, clock rolling.
You're right. The night's been longer than the yardage so far tonight for
Mulligan, Galera, Allen, and Smith. And there he goes on the Wildcat. There it goes, Vaughn. Vaughn, one man to beat from the horse collar.
And a flag stops. The key is that flag stops the clock, Lou. That gives the Olympians, and I think that's going to go against Lawndale. And with 21 seconds left, that gives the Olympian quarterback an opportunity to come over and talk to Coach Jenkins. As you see Vaughn over on this side of the field right now, what you see is the 21 seconds left here in the first half. Leuzinger is going to have the ball inside the 20-yard line at about the 18. I think, Lou, you got a chance for a couple of cracks. First of all, you can't run the ball at all. It's as simple as that. All right. I think they got a couple of cracks at it in the end zone. As you were saying earlier, you got to make it happen quick. Oh man. Well,
there it goes.
Okay.
5 seconds left on the clock. Handoff to Galera.
Well,
and the clock runs out. No timeouts left for the Olympians.
There are calls you don't understand, and then there are calls you don't understand. Okay.
So 1 yard for Galera before the clock runs out. And we'll go down to Egidio. And before we go to Egidio, the Hawthorne Cougars took advantage of a lot of Leuzinger mistakes. Rufus, to get this 37-8. We've already talked about that.
Right.
So a lot of unanswered points. As a matter of fact, 16
points off turnovers.
16 plus 5 is 21 unanswered points. Let's go to Egidio.
Up here, Hawthorne leads Leuzinger 37-8. I talked to Coach Paysinger before the game and asked him about the bye week, if it helped him or hurt him, and he said it hurt him because the momentum dropped a little bit at practice. That is the reason why the Cougars only scored 3 points in the first quarter. They were down a little bit. Since then, though, they've scored 34 points. On the other end, though, the Olympians, they need to get the ball rolling. A player they're going to, Nathaniel Vaughn, number 3, is playing wide receiver, had a touchdown catch. He's playing quarterback in that last series, as you saw. He's playing defense, and also he's been punting the ball today. Looks like the Olympians are going to ride Nathaniel Vaughn here as long as Santos, and they need to do that to come back here. They're down, like I said, 37-8. Should be a good rest of the game. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Egidio. We'll be back with the third quarter kickoff as we're watching some of the homecoming festivities. We'll see some more of that. It's the Mayor's Cup on the line at Olympian Field.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and your Leuzinger Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper. Good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back here at Olympian Field, here is the king and queen of last year. And let's go down to Coach G, where he will be running the Master of Ceremonies slot for the 2013 coronation of the king and queen of Leuzinger High School's homecoming. Coach G.
Your homecoming prince for 2013. Give it up for Mr. Semisi Lauraki. Samisi is being escorted by his girlfriend. That's not the girl I seen on Facebook. Anyways, Miss Leah Dominguez. Of course, I'm joking, ladies and gentlemen. And now, your homecoming princess, Miss Rachel Villafana. And now, your homecoming king for 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Kenneth Hall. And now for your two candidates running for homecoming queen. Your first candidate, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Yasmin Cabello. And your next candidate, Miss Tiana Puloka. Folks, for all of you who are not students here at Leuzinger High, we'd like to let you know that earlier today, this morning, around 10 o'clock, we have a tradition here, the homecoming parade, and each one of our candidates were out here, they performed, they had floats, and they all did a great job campaigning for their position at homecoming court. Now, the winner, and this was a tight one, I have to say, according to the ASB, this was a very tight race between Miss Cabello and Miss Puloka. And the results are in. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 homecoming queen is, you know, back in 1995, when I went here, I gotta tell you, we had it cracking at homecoming. I'm just saying, that's what we did in 95. Okay. Your 2013 homecoming queen. Did I tell you I was a Raiders fan? No, seriously. Your 2013 homecoming queen, ladies and gentlemen, from the island of Torrance, we would like to thank each and every one of our candidates, ladies and gentlemen, from homecoming princess to homecoming king and queen, for all their great efforts in campaigning. We'd like to also thank them for all their school spirit and effort in doing all they can to be a true Olympian. Ladies and gentlemen, your homecoming court. Once again, Mr. Semisi Lawaki, Rachel Villafana, Kenneth Hong, and your homecoming queen, Miss Tiana Puloka. Can we get a who's house? Who's house? Who's house? Who's house? Let's get we have a whole second half, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, take all your Facebook and Instagram pictures that you can while they last with all the homecoming court. Remember, we got our dance tomorrow at the Civic Center right here in Lawndale. Remember, Olympians, tonight's game between our rivals, the Hawthorne Cougars, and yours truly, your Leuzinger Olympians, is being played for the Leuzinger Cup. That's right, we play for it every year.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with the homecoming king and queen. Congratulations, guys. First of all, anything you'd like to say?
We'd like to thank all the supporters that voted for us, and yeah, thank you.
New Haas, class of 2014.
Are you guys enjoying the game so far?
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the rest of the game?
We're going to catch up and win by 30 points.
There you go. Whose house?
Lou House!
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Egidio. We'll be back with the kickoff of the third quarter and some unofficial stats right after this.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Third quarter kickoff about ready to get underway, and they're trying to get things going early. But we had the coronation of Tiana Paluca and Kenneth Hong, and congratulations to them, the 2013 King and Queen. And we had T in the house, T McMahon, averaging 25 points a game. She is going to be the point guard. She's going to be throwing the ball down low to Tiana Paluca. Right, Coach? T is going to throw to Tiana.
With 37 on the board to start the second half, and your home team, Leuzinger Olympians, on the board with 8.
So let's go over some of the stats while we still can for the Hawthorne Cougars. McDaniel rushing 15 carries, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Passing for Washington, 5 out of 8, 83 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. For Leuzinger in rushing, Vaughn, 8 carries, 39 yards, and a fumble. Galera, 8 carries for 1 yard and a fumble. Santos in the passing department, 8 out of 13 for 58 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. So if you look at the offense, Rufus, they're pretty even. But it's special teams and defense that have gotten it done for Hawthorne.
Converting turnovers. They've converted virtually every opportunity they've had, Lou. And of course, to add insult to injury, they get the ball to start the second half.
So the referee, see him talking to the Hawthorne kick returners. That's Tony DeVeris talking to number 7, Pablo Bernal, who's also the backup quarterback. He'll be to the near side, and to the far side will be Eddie Thomas, who has a touchdown tonight. Kicking the ball off is Nathaniel Vaughn. Their regular kicker is Chris Garcia, and he is in uniform, standing right below us, but for some reason or another is not participating in tonight's homecoming game. Vaughn fouls it off at the 40-yard line, and it's fallen on and downed by Xavier Thomas. Also down underneath Thomas was Jaleel Enriquez. So we'll call it the 41-yard line.
And that was a 20-yard kickoff.
Hawthorne gets it. We'll call it the 40. Jermaine Martin split out just below us. Also there is Javante Jackson. Running back, Paris McDaniel. Eddie Thomas in the slot on the right side, on the far side. And coming in at center is Brandon Walker.
I don't know if I've ever seen that where you center.
Washington to McDaniel.
And the wide receiver screen
McDaniel with the reception,
flops.
but it's going to be for a loss.
So that's a 6-yard, 7-yard loss.
Andrew Harvey in on the tackle for the Olympians.
Also there was Galera to slow him down.
You're a very generous man.
Washington. And off to McDaniel.
McDaniel switches directions again. He's had a lot of success, scored a touchdown that way, then runs into Vaughn. And that's going to be a 3rd and 5.
Good play by Vaughn, excuse me. Nathaniel Vaughn on the tackle there in the open field.
It's an 11-yard gain, Rufus. And a good one by a terrific runner. Didn't get to see a whole lot of Paris. Actually, the Lawndale defense held him up, and he did get some sort of an injury during the game, and that was a good defensive play by Leuzinger.
Sort of bring up a 4th down and 5 from the 45-yard line. Let's see what Coach Pazinger elects to do here.
That ball was tipped by Galera. So they're going to go for it on 4th down, it appears.
At the moment it does. Leuzinger thinks they're going to punt, though.
Well, they have been known to quick kick, but now out comes Hernandez. But they could snap it. Well, up by 29 points. There's really no point in doing that. Kick is short, and it's down at about the 25-yard line.
Takes a Leuzinger bounce. Looks like it was going the other way, and you're right, they're going to spot it at about the 23 officially, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Olympians.
1st and 10 from the 20.
So the defense for the Leuzinger Olympians looks good,
First possession of the second half.
at least on that series. Let's see, we've got the microphone looks good. This sounds a little thin for some reason. And on the sideline is Edson Santos. So it'll be Nathaniel Vaughn running the offense once again, Rufus.
And Santos, first of all, to the best of our knowledge, not injured, or at least doesn't appear to be on the sideline because of injury.
So I would imagine that we're going to see a lot of wildcat.
No gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd.
Might have been a loss on the play, Rufus, of about 1 yard.
From the spot, that's what it looks like they're going to call it.
Good defense by Hawthorne. So 10:05 clock rolling. Vaughn, he'll hand the ball off and a flag. And the ball comes loose, but now whistles blew.
Right.
After Galera was tackled by his opposite number, Ryan Smith.
After a short gain from the Olympians.
So let's see what the call is.
After the play.
It was a good gain by Galera to the 26-yard line, about a 7-yard gain.
Official there, Tony DeVeers, sorting it out with the Cougar team.
Illegal motion.
Actually, an illegal shift is out against the Olympians.
Okay, so did they decline it?
3rd and long, handoff to Galera up the middle.
They must have declined it, Rufus.
That's our gathering, but
Looks like they should have taken it because the Olympians converted into a first down out of the 3rd and long.
So Galera gets it to the 34-yard line. Vaughn hands it off to Galera again, gets to the 40-yard line, and across to the 41. So it's going to be 2nd and about 5.
So Galera doing a good job on the ground, at least on the early downs, picking up good yardage to create 2nd and 3rd and shorter downs than what they've been experiencing thus far tonight.
Galera escapes one tackle but can't escape the other one, as he was tackled finally by Marquise Edwards. But he gets the first down, so a 5-yard run for Galera to the 44-yard line. So Vaughn hands it off again, and man, Hudson, I believe, got. Actually, that was number 13, Christopher Wright.
There's going to be a gain of about 5.
A 5'7" freshman.
It looked like Jermaine Martin, though, got a nice piece of him there. Number 2 for the Cougars.
And out to
Khalil Miller gets across into Cougar territory to the 48-yard line. So Miller gets his first carry at running back. Or yeah, that's his first carry tonight. Gets 2 yards. So Perkins just trying to find anybody that can break through for him.
I think he is. And if he finds Perkins, he'll put him in there too. Because I think it's Coach Jenkins.
That's right.
Look at somebody.
Oh, did I?
But that's okay. He's looking for Perkins. Because
Okay.
I think Perkins can contribute as well.
Wow.
Yep.
See?
Yeah, Miller offside.
And flags on the field. It's going to be a false start against the Olympians. That's going to bring them back about 5.
So it'll be.
It's going to be third and 8.
Third and close to 9 yards. Back to the 46 of Leuzinger.
So is that the class of 63 sitting in front of us down here, that the vacator? I guess they've been out of school that long. They got to go home and get their beauty sleep, man.
And, well, just, I'm not that old, and I need mine. I need a 2-week vacation, as Vaughn gets the first down. Back inside of Cougar territory, down to the 44-yard line of Hawthorne. It'll be 1st and 10. So a 10-yard run for Vaughn. So yeah, the class of 63, they were here tonight. Hard to believe that was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Olympians.
You know, on second thought, some of the folks may
I bet
not
you-
have been the class of 60. They didn't look to be 68 years old.
There was a couple of guys there from the class of 73 that I talked to.
Okay, well, the guys from the class of 73, they look young.
Vaughn gets down to about the 40-yard line.
Those guys from the class of 73 look like they could have easily been in the class of 83.
Well, do want to acknowledge Henry Glenn from the class of 73. Henry Glenn is now a neighbor of mine in Huntington Beach, and he worked for many, many years with the original ESPN and ABC Sports as a television producer and interviewer. So hats off to Hank. So Vaughn with a 4-yard carry. Now it's 2nd down and 6. Miller in motion. 3 receivers in the pattern. Vaughn's going to pitch it off on the option play to Miller, and the ball is loose. And Miller, lucky to get it back, but a loss on the play. Back to the Hawthorne 44.
The pitch was high, but you got to give Miller a lot of credit. He did an excellent job of maintaining possession. You see how high the pitch was there.
Well,
Gets it down.
He had to get it over some Cougars.
3rd and long for the Olympians.
And we have some members of the military, probably from the old ROTC class. And they're, of course, you have to get somebody who knows what they're doing with the T-shirt gun. And if they are serving in the military, we want to thank them. There's a ball on the ground. It's like a bar of soap.
It's going to still be losing her ball. It'll be 4th down.
Be 4th and about 12. Lost back to the 47. Ball just squirted out.
That's no reason why they can't give us something, man. I'm willing to serve.
4th and long.
That's right. And thinking stuck inside the T-shirt, there might be an enlistment paper.
There you go.
Almost. Hey, that's some digital camouflage shirt there. That's a nice shirt. Vaughn, though, gets close to a first down, Rufus, down to the 36-yard line, but it's going to be like less than a yard short. Yep. So the Olympians turn it over on downs. A good effort. Thomas on the tackle for the Cougars. An 11-yard gain, but not close enough. He needed a dozen. So at the 4:18 mark of the 3rd quarter, Hawthorne takes over at their own 36. Trying to get a T-shirt up here.
I don't think they can even get that far.
Oh, don't say that to a guy who's probably can shoot a bazooka.
I bet you a Marine could hit the booth.
He tried, he got close. With a bazooka, that's all you need is close. There you see the run by McDaniel, a 5-yard run. And Paris is on his way. Here we come.
Whoa! That's okay. We'll give you credit for that one.
Here, wait a minute, let's raise the white flag. Gonna raise the white flag. That's 2 shots up there. Okay. Paris McDaniel with the 5-yard run. The pass is incomplete. As you saw it there.
Washington shotgun formation.
So it's 3rd down and 5.
Somebody with really long hair on the sideline.
McDaniel gets the ball and a nice tackle on the play by Ahmad Taylor.
Yeah, but I think you're going to have a horse collar in there somewhere, Lou. It's either be a face mask or a horse collar tackle. That's going to go against the Olympians. That'll give the Cougars a first down on the play. If the officials saw what I saw. Personal foul, face mask.
And that's going to be a face mask.
So that was a 4-yard gain.
And they're going to walk this off about 20 miles.
And then another 15. Another 15 yards. All the way to the Leuzinger 41-yard line. Clock rolling again. 3:19 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Washington fakes the handoff, throws it over on the right flat. It's caught. Eddie Thomas still fighting his way for yardage. Gets down to the 32-yard line.
And that's going to be a holding call.
Got a holding penalty against Hawthorne.
Well, that's going to bring them back.
Let's see if we can see it there. Thomas trying to be reeled in by Wright. Saw Paris McDaniel with a block, didn't see where the hold was. It was close to a block in the back, but it's called a hold. Back to the 45-yard line of Hawthorne. So it went down to the 32. So that was a 9-yard pickup on the pass play. To Thomas. And then the penalty goes all the way back. The spot of the foul was at the 45-yard line, so we take away the pass play then, correct?
Yep.
And it goes to the 45 of Hawthorne. So they giveth and taketh.
Once again, we'd like to welcome back all of our former Olympians. We got Wally Moomin.
2:58 left to go in the third quarter. Boy, it's been an action-packed night. We had the rededication of the torch by a member of the 1963 track team, Wes Reiser. We had the king and queen crowned here for homecoming.
Yep.
That was Tiana Paluca and Kenneth Hong. And a football game.
And a football game.
Washington has running backs bookending him. They go into the pass play. Screen play to Thomas. Thomas jitterbugging around and still on his feet, gets to midfield. And that's going to be at about the 49-yard line of Leuzinger.
That's a whole lot of energy for 6 yards when you need 20. But you'll take that because it's only second down.
So second down at about 17.
Washington shotgun formation, McDaniel in the backfield.
Washington pumps. Hudson trying to tackle him, couldn't bring him down. So Washington is on the run. Gets to the 40-yard line, spins his way down to the 36 before he's tackled by Jamar Mulligan.
And good pursuit by the Leuzinger defense. Missed tackle, had him tackled for a huge loss. We can see that and watch him get away on the play. That was number 42, Taryn Hudson, who was in with an opportunity to tackle him, just didn't bring him down, no.
So that's a 15-yard gain, Rufus, by Washington.
It makes it a very manageable 3rd and 6 now.
Washington shotgun formation down in the backfield.
McDaniel on the run. McDaniel still on the run. Gets the first down. Gets his man out of position and into the end zone. Touchdown, Hawthorne. Paris McDaniel with a 46-yard run. No flags. That's a touchdown with 1:38 left to go in the third quarter.
Looked good, Lou.
So it's 43-8 right now. Look at McDaniel making Jamar Mulligan miss badly. A great fake by Mulligan. He is really a good runner. So that's McDaniel's 3rd touchdown. Hernandez coming on to tack on the extra point.
Kick is up.
And
it's good.
That was like a drive I once did. Like you hit the ground first and then the ball, but it goes through. 44-8 in favor of the Hawthorne Cougars on Mayor's Cup and homecoming night for Leuzinger, with 1:38 left to go.
In the third. Believe it or not, there's still some more.
That's right, got a lot more. So McDaniel with his 3rd touchdown of the night. This one, 46 yards.
I'm sorry, did y'all say something?
5 plays officially, Rufus, and 64 yards. And that took about 3 minutes, just short of 3 minutes, about.
And a couple of times, again, the defense did a good job for the Olympians, boy. But
Angelos Smith.
Smith on the run. Smith breaks one tackle, but actually that's Holliness. Holliness gets up to the 48-yard line, but we have a flag back at the 35-yard line.
50-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
So we'll see what Tony DeVeris will call.
pointing back here in the.
Going the wrong way for the Olympians. So McDaniel with a 15-yard run.
Against the Olympians.
And a 4-yard run and a 46-yard run for the hat trick. Holding against the Olympians, so it'll come way back. Going to call it the 25-yard line.
Hofmann for making his way out here once again, ladies and gentlemen, as he does every
Look
year.
for the hold there. Further back.
High School and yours truly, the Leuzinger Olympians. We appreciate his support.
So Santos back in the ball game, and the ball is tipped away from Smith on a good defensive play.
Mayor Hofmann right there at the 40-yard line. Thank you very much for all the support over the years.
There you see the ball batted away. Nicely done by the Cougar defender.
And a nice gesture by the House announcer to acknowledge Mayor Harold Hofmann, and he's exactly right. I don't think Leuzinger has had a bigger supporter, certainly in my 20-plus years of affiliation with the schools around here, than what Mayor Hofmann has been. And he stepped up more times than most people know in support of the schools and our local broadcast efforts.
As the pass completes, Smith can't hold on to it. And that's too bad because Santos made a good throw under pressure. Ryan Smith was on him. There you see that Smith was there, and then
put it right on
the other
money.
Smith, Angelo Smith,
Give it up once again
missed
for
it.
our cheer team, ladies and gentlemen.
Santos on third down, throws it down the middle, and Vaughn just can't hang on to it. In between two defenders.
And that was another good
Martin
throw by
and
Santos.
Sparks.
You got to give him credit. I mean, if we see the replay, that went right through. The one after that one, that was the previous pass.
So he's throwing good balls tonight. Yeah, Harold Hofmann, the mayor of Lawndale, I don't think I have not seen him at a Mayor's Cup game, and I've been doing this only 7 years. There's Santos, nice ball, just missed. I think he was looking at a red helmet coming at his way. 2 Cougars back to receive Vaughn's punt. That's Martin, the furthest one back. And Martin picks it up, gets away from Mulligan, gets away from 2, 3 more Olympians, has 1 man to beat, and can't get away from one of 2 Leuzinger Olympians, and that is Angelo Smith, that finally brings down Jermaine Martin.
I think Vaughn was in there somewhere, but here's the question you got to ask yourself. That's number 2, Jamar Mulligan. Mulligan let him get away. I mean, he had him in his sights.
Had him in his arms. So now, deep in Leuzinger territory at the 15-yard line. About a 45-yard return.
Who's house? Who's house?
Now running with the ball is Angel Haro. Angel's first run of the day. He's been playing defense most of the night. Big fullback.
Got some more lost Cougars on the Olympian side.
Looks like that's a 5-yard gain, Rufus, so it'll be second down and 5.
And he's one of those guys that looks like he doesn't mind the contact at all.
Ball is on the ground, picked up by Washington, being held by the Leuzinger defense, and finally taken down by Santos. Also there, holding him by the leg for dear life, was Junior Facava.
Washington's a little shaken up.
Just about had his leg twisted off. There you see the ball on the ground, and that's Angelo Smith hanging on for dear life, and lucky to still, maybe landed on that left leg wrong. 9 seconds left in the quarter. So Bernal coming on to take the snap for the Cougars. There you see him, number 7. So hopefully get an injury report on Washington, who's standing over on the sideline next to Coach Pasinger on the far left. And they're going to let this clock run out. And with one more quarter left to go, the Cougars leading the Olympians on Mayor's Cup night. Now let's go down to Egidio.
Testing, 1, 2. Thank you, guys. Well, you might have noticed something different on the Hawthorne Cougars uniform tonight. Usually they wear only red and white. Tonight, some of the players are sporting pink in their wristband, their athletic tape, and also their socks. I asked one of the assistant coaches, was it the players' idea to do this, or was it the coach's idea to do this? And they said, no, the players wanted to honor some family members and some loved ones to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is right now in the month of October. It's a very nice thing they're doing here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Egidio. It's turned into a tradition with Hawthorne, and a very nice thing that they do, and I appreciate it, being a brother-in-law of 2 breast cancer survivors, and also for my late wife.
Yeah, a very, very worthy cause, and it's good to see all sports embrace it, and not just in the role of athletic endeavors, but across our society during the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And let's be aware of all types of cancers. McDaniel with the handoff, and rough running room. Junior, big Junior with the big tackle. And that's another loss, Rufus. Back to about the 15-yard line. So a loss on the play of 3 yards. And for Paris McDaniel.
We're in that Mercy Rule territory that you spoke about earlier, where now with as you can see, a new quarterback, as we mentioned earlier in there, that's Pablo Bernal under center.
And he'll take it himself, and Junior is there again. He's been a beast on defense.
Has been all night.
I think he's in the running for a tip of the cap. So Junior is just a youngster. 5'10", 200, a sophomore. Well, the big part of the future here, Rufus. And that's a turnover on downs. That was 4th down. So another loss on the play. That gets the ball to the 20-yard line.
And for the Olympians, that means Edson Santos, you see on your screen there, back out of the shotgun formation as a center. And now, let's see who's going to burn this time out.
Get a timeout called by the
looks like Hawthorne.
So that's the first time out of the second half, as you see Coach Pasinger pacing the sideline. first year at Hawthorne after many years at Beverly Hills, and said that he welcomed the change.
And I think he's going to do well for the Hawthorne program. Did very well up at Beverly Hills. Took him some time, but put together some very good teams up there. All right. So we asked him what his goal was, if you will, look for because league season starts next week. This is the last non-league game for all teams in the southern section. All right. Now it's time to get on with your league stuff, and no matter what your non-league schedule is, man, you've got a chance once you go into league play.
Santos throws it out of bounds. He is 0 for his last 4 and only 1 for his last 5. So Coach Payshinger's Cougars take on Culver City next time around.
And one of the things that I noticed, Lou, and I was going to develop this point a little bit earlier in the broadcast, and that is, although Hawthorne came into the contest 1-3, and they'll leave here tonight at 2-3.
And it's intercepted by the Cougars at the 45-yard line. Scampering upfield is Enriquez. Enriquez gets belted out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. And that's Junior.
And that was Junior again. Like they say, go, Mama, there goes that man.
Well, the ball was underthrown to Smith, the intended receiver. And Enriquez is coming along, just dancing down the field, and boom, Junior.
Yeah, that was all Junior on that one. I know Edson Santos got in there to do a little cleanup work.
That was a senior hit by Junior. So they got to call that a penalty?
Well, we got flags back here. We got a whole bunch of stuff.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4 flags. What do we need? 2 more, and we got. Okay. So we have also an injured man, an Olympian down on the field as well. On the sideline, right about the 30-yard line. Can't see who it is. As we're looking at Tony DeVeris, the referee, we have a holding penalty or an interference penalty.
Wow.
3 interference penalties or 3 illegal block penalties? Those are illegal block penalties.
Yeah, that's wow, but I think you only get credit for 1, but let's see how they mark this off.
Now we're waiting for the injured player now as the training staff checking the leg of whoever that is. Egidio, if we can get word to him, I know that he's got a better view. And it's good news to see the injured player at least sitting up. Now he looks like he wants to get up. And that is it's number 11, Markel Allen. Let's take a look at the replay. Was that Allen? Yeah, that was about the 30-yard line. So that was Markel getting knocked down and maybe was in an awkward position, but there is the blind, not a blind side, but that's head on.
Yeah. Excellent hit by Junior Facava.
2 interceptions now for Santos, Rufus. And I'm sure we'll get an injury report as Allen is laying down on the sideline. And there's big old number 45, and that's Angel Haro with the run. And he plows through, and another, well, I was looking at shoes.
Right.
One of the linemen has yellow shoes. There's been so many. I think that's big old number 78, Deshaun Smith, with the yellow shoes on. A 9-yard gain for Harrow as McDaniel.
That's what you got to do. You got to bring him down.
He's going to be tackled for a loss.
Took
So
a
good.
gang of them to get him, Lou. I mean, right now, Leuzinger appears to only have one solid individual tackle, and that's Junior Facava, and sometimes Edson Santos. So I would say two, but most of these other guys, man, I mean, they've got to start wrapping up and bringing guys down.
And off to Harrow. Once again, Harrow gets the first down and then some.
So the line of scrimmage doesn't matter because Harrow makes a new line of scrimmage
right
at the 42-yard line.
That's in the 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the 44-yard line of the Olympians.
So a gain on the play of about 10 yards for Harrow. And it's 1st and 10 with 7:14 clock rolling.
Cougars in Olympian territory again at the Olympian 42, call it 43-yard line.
Bernal under center, out of the eye. Gives it immediately to the fullback, Harrow. Harrow, something flew up. Oh, it was a flag.
It was that time.
Down to the 35-yard line. Going to keep the clock rolling.
That's a holding call against the Cougars.
We'll see if we can find it. Might be right there, right in front of us.
And it's going to be assessed from the start of the foul.
The Cisco kid with that camera.
That's going to bring him a 2nd down in about 15.
Going to be working at Dodger Stadium. Been working at Dodger Stadium. So that goes all the way back to the 49-yard line. Bernal and Junior. Did he hand that off to Junior?
Junior was there at about the same time the ball got there.
Let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. Here's an injury update on number 11, Markel Allen, who got a huge hit on that interception return by Hawthorne. I spoke to one of the trainers, and he said it looked like it was the hip at first, but now it looks like to be a bad contusion. He said they're going to try to roll out the muscle. They're icing him there. It looks like the trainer said he's going to sit him out the rest of the game. He's not going to come back in. He had a pretty good game. Markel was playing both receiver and defensive back. He had one interception in the game. Unfortunately, this injury happened. We'll keep you posted if we get more information. Back to you, Lou.
Thanks, Egidio. There were only 10 players for the Cougars out there, and somehow they beat the play clock. And a pass just out of the reach. And that was for Richard Rodriguez. Also in the neighborhood was Joshua Jacobo. So Rodriguez, 6'1", tight end. First pass that at least we know of that was thrown to him. So now Rufus, it's 2nd and long at the 49-yard line, and they have to get to the 32. So we'll call it 19 yards.
3rd and long. Bernal in the center.
Out of the eye, Bernal snaps it and hands it off to Harrow. Harrow rumbling and bumbling, finally gets stopped by Vaughn and gets out of that one. Another flag in the air down to the 31-yard line. Harrow might have a first down except for the penalty flag. Angelo Smith finally brought him down. So see if that was a 19, 20-yard run.
Personal foul against the Cougars, so it's going to come back.
So erase the 19-yard run. Watch him against number 3, Vaughn, coming up here.
And the flag on play is going to go against the Cougars.
good hit by Nathaniel, but Angel treats him like the devil.
Right. You talk about just shoving him out the way. He took that hit straight on and just said, get out of here.
You know, the last time I saw a shove like that was at a January white sale at the Kmart. A couple of ladies fighting over the blouse.
Yeah.
Woo, that was ugly. Haro gets it again, but the Leuzinger line holds, and it's 3rd and about a half a mile.
And that 3rd down play is going to bring up a 4th and still half a mile.
Angelo Smith was in there again. So Angelo's got a radar on Angel. 2:50 left to go, clock running. Bernal out of the eye. Would imagine they're just going to keep it on the ground, Rufus. As Bernal slips and falls at midfield. Doggone it. And now it's going to be 4th down. Or was that 1st down? That was 4th down.
That was the 4th down play. It's 1st down for the Olympians.
So they just want to keep the clock rolling.
Right. Two minutes, 10 seconds left in homecoming 2013. Not a particularly enjoyable one, at least on the field of action for the Leuzinger Olympians, but up here in the crowds and with the fans and some of the players of yesteryear who have made reappearances. Even saw a couple of old members, former members of the cheer squad, graduated members. You never call a lady old, so let me correct that.
Not unless you want to get in trouble.
A couple of the former members of the cheer squad who have since graduated.
Santos fighting for the ball, but it's picked off by Hawthorne. And that's the 2nd pick of the game for Jalil Enriquez. So Hawthorne gives it right back, or gets it right back. Little short on the throw, and Enriquez again in the right place at the right time. 2 interceptions in a row. Coming down to a minute left.
Your attention, please. Darius Tatum. Darius Tatum to the booth, please. Darius Tatum.
And another penalty.
Darius Tatum, once again, if you
must be if they're walking that away. Don't even know if they're going to get another playoff.
A family member at the booth, at the announcer's booth, right here on the Leuzinger home side.
So at the 20-yard line, Bernal taking roll.
And if he does get this one off,
they'll have to run at least one play.
He'll take a knee, and that'll be the ball game.
That's it. 18 seconds left to go, and the Cougars and the Olympians are running to their respective sidelines. And the good news is number 11, Markel Allen, is not lying down anymore. And that is it. Homecoming is over, and the Mayor's Cup goes back to Hawthorne with a 44-8 win over the Leuzinger Olympians. Paris McDaniel with 3 touchdowns on the ground, but Rufus, it was the defense and the special teams for the Cougars who won the game for the Hawthorne Cougars.
Well, they certainly did. The Olympians, though, contributed to it with a host of turnovers, a number of times when they didn't capitalize on it. But the fact of the matter is Hawthorne was just too big, too strong, too many players for him. And what you're going to see as this season wears on, unfortunately, the Olympian players have a lot of heart, a lot of ambition, a lot of desire, but unfortunately, they don't have the numbers, quite frankly, to be competitive even at this level, and that's the interscholastic level. You simply can't walk on the field with 20 guys and expect to have good things happen for you over the course of a 10-game season. And here's the point. It's only going to get tougher from here for the Olympians, and they've got to find out where they go from here. On the other side of the equation,
Well, there's nowhere but up for him.
well, there's no place but up, and right now there's nothing for Mayor Hofmann to do except he's got to hand over this trophy to somebody from Hawthorne, all right, because they've earned it and they get to take it back home tonight. But from the Hawthorne Cougars side, you know, and they've had some down years. A couple years ago when Coach Joe Kanak came in, he got the program turned in the right direction. Then they slid backward for a moment. But let me tell you what, Coach Paysinger will get these guys turned in the right direction. When I look at the numbers that they have of guys who want to put on the uniform, all right, that tells you that they believe in the future.
Well, when we first met Coach Paysinger in a Hawthorne uniform, he told us that as soon as the word got out that he was the coach, there were kids starting to come in, and they just welcomed everybody into the weight room. And that's why you have such a big roster of Hawthorne Cougars, kind of like the days of yesteryear. So let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Coach Jenkins. Coach, unfortunately tonight your team lost the Mayor's Cup, went back to Hawthorne this year. How do you think you guys played tonight, though, even with a loss?
I don't think we played very well. You know, we turned the ball over and made some mistakes. You know, when you do that, you know, that's not a recipe for success. So, you know, we should have played a lot better. But Hawthorne, you got to give them credit. You know, they capitalized on everything and they took it to us tonight. So we give them all the credit. Their coaches did a great job, players did a great job, so congratulations to them.
Nathaniel Vaughn played a little bit of quarterback here tonight. What was the strategy behind that?
Well, that was something that we were working towards anyway as we move forward. You know, he'll probably be playing quarterback for us the rest of the way. He's a dual threat guy, and he's just been taking it slow. In the Torrance game, he played some quarterback for us, and he played a little bit more tonight, and he'll be playing more as we move forward.
What do you guys look to get here from the rest of the season? You're 0-5, unfortunately, but what are you guys working on to try to get a first win and try to make the season turn around a little bit?
Well, it's the same. You know, we're trying to just concentrate on the fundamentals of football and, you know, keep the guys healthy that we do have, keep them healthy, keep their spirits up, and just keep improving and playing with pride and discipline, and hopefully they'll break through.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio. Maybe we can get the presentation of the Mayor's Cup and trying to get over there and see if we can get enough camera cable over there. As Rufus and I are pouring over to see who our player of the game and our tip of the hat winner is, since they're both of our guys. There's Mayor Hofmann right there. We can see him talking to the Hawthorne Cougars and trying to get a microphone in there.
Guys, keep care of it
Mayor
for a year.
Harold Hofmann.
Because Leuzinger told me they were going to take it back next year. So let's see what happens.
Enjoy something, Lou, that quite frankly, over the last 12 years, they've not had the opportunity to enjoy very much.
Right.
Only the second time in 12 years, but boy, this year they made it real big. 2 years ago, it was only a 19-9 game here at Leuzinger. This year, man, they come away 44-8. So they clearly established themselves right now as the talk of the town here in this rivalry, this long-standing rivalry between Leuzinger and Hawthorne. And they got to give Mayor Harold Hofmann a lot of credit, man. He went into the heart of the Cougar den.
That's
okay.
it, right in the mouth of the Cougar.
Yeah. To present that award and get in one last dig that says, hey, next year is coming back our way.
All right, well, that's good. Maybe we can get an interview with one of the players or Coach Pasinger. And let's take a timeout, though, on City TV.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and your Leuzinger Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper. Good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back here at Olympian Field, where the Mayor's Cup goes to Hawthorne High School, 44-8 over the Leuzinger Olympians on their homecoming night. And let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with the winning coach of the Mayor's Cup, Coach Pasinger. First of all, congratulations. How do you think your team played here tonight?
We played well. We played hard, and we played hard the whole game. And that's the only thing I can ask for.
And what does it mean here in your first season? I know you're trying to turn this program around and try to change the Cougar name, what it means to this area. And what does it mean for you to win a Mayor's Cup and your second victory of the season?
It's huge to win the Mayor Cup. They just told me about it when I first got here, and it's huge. I just found out that Lawndale had it. Leuzinger had it for about 9 years. So I can say one thing: as long as I'm here, we're going to keep it. And it was a big win for us going into our league play next week against Culver City. So we're going to ride this, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah, this is a huge win for Hawthorne. Actually, the second time out of 12 years that you guys have won it, so a big win for you guys here. What do you guys look forward to? I know you said the goal is Santa Monica at the end for the league championship. Right. Talk about that a little bit, please.
Our league, the Ocean League, I've been a coach in the Ocean League for the last 30 years, on and off, so I understand our league. And I understand that Culver City and Santa Monica is the top two teams in our league. And we have Culver City next week. We knock them off. Then we'll be playing Santa Monica for the league title.
And real quick, Patrick Washington and Paris McDaniel, two star players on your team. Talk about them a little bit. They had a great game today, don't you think?
They had an awesome game, especially Paris. We were down to one running back, Paris. That's why he didn't play any defense. And he was a workhorse today. He did a great job for us. And Patrick was out a couple of days this week because he got hurt a couple of weeks ago. And he stepped in as if he never lost a beat. He was awesome.
Coach, congratulations on your win tonight. Enjoy this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Egidio. See if Mayor Hofmann stayed with us or not.
Looks like he did.
Okay. And in the meantime, Rufus, should we well, why don't we take a quick timeout here so we can go over who our player of the game and our tip of the hat player are. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back with Mayor Hofmann right after this.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Back here at Olympian Field, the Mayor's Cup goes to the Hawthorne Cougars, 44-8. Let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with the mayor of Lawndale, Mayor Hofmann. What did you think of tonight's game?
I thought it was a good game. I thought the kids played hard. Both teams played hard. I think they were a little overmatched with the Leuzinger being overmatched but they did, I thought, a tremendous job. These kids get out there and give their all. As long as they give 100% and nobody gets hurt. Somebody did get hurt tonight, but our hopes is nobody gets hurt. And it's one of the things that we as the City of Lawndale provide, and we have been able to since this Mayor's Cup since 1997. So a good many years. Leuzinger took it, 9 years in a row or something like that. So it's time that I was kind of disappointed that the mayor of Hawthorne didn't get here tonight to make their presentation, because those kids over there were totally excited. Yes, they did it. They won it last year too, but this was an exceptionally challenging game for them, and they enjoyed winning, and they were excited about it. And I cannot help but be excited with them because they're our kids, and we do this for the community and the kids that are playing football and different sports. So it's one of the privileges I have of being mayor, that we can contribute to the community this way.
Yeah, it was a great game for us to watch too. Unfortunately, losing Hawthorne winning. Talk about Hawthorne a little bit. They're a rebuilding program. What do you think it means for them to get a W here in this Mayor's Cup as they rebuild this year?
Well, I think they expressed that just a few minutes ago over there. I mean, I thought I was going to get pushed through that wall of that fence over there. No, they were mighty excited. I think they expected to win. You never come into one of these games without expecting to win, and I think that the fact that they did win, they were overly excited for it being the Mayor's Cup. You know, because some of those kids will be asking for you people for copies of the tapes and stuff that from this game tonight.
And Mayor, what is your best memory of throughout the years the Mayor Cups that you've attended?
Well, the best ones were the one, naturally, that Leuzinger won, but I have had to present at other times the trophy to Hawthorne. But I get a bang out of doing the presentation if their mayor don't show up. I think it's one of my responsibilities to be here for this game because of the mayor's trophy.
And we appreciate it very much, and I'm pretty sure everybody else out there appreciates everything you're doing. Thank you for your time, Mayor.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Egidio. Thank you very much, Mayor Harold Hofmann. Always welcome on our broadcast on CityTV. And good sport, too.
Very good sport. And as I've said before, a huge supporter of these schools and of our broadcast.
And of the youth of the area as well. Well, it's time for our player of the game and a tip of the hat player of the game. And Hawthorne winning the Mayor's Cup. A big cog in the wheel of the Cougars' offense is number 25, Paris McDaniel, the running back. 21 carries, 129 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
He had a big night, a real big night for them. And as their coach said, as they start to point toward league season, they're starting to feel pretty good. And he's looking at Culver City next week, and if he can turn the corner against them, he sees Santa Monica in their sights at the end of the season.
That's right, and Culver City is 1-3 as well coming into tonight's action, so that's going to be a very good game. That's going to be at Hawthorne High School.
That's a good one.
And our tip of the hat player of the game, who did you select?
Our tip of the hat tonight goes to a guy on special teams. We don't often get to recognize and acknowledge them, but I got to tell you, in a losing cause, nonetheless, number 21 for the Leuzinger Olympians, Khalil Miller, did a great job on the kickoffs of getting them in excellent position. They didn't take advantage of it, but it wasn't because Khalil didn't give them the ball out most times past the 40 and a couple of times near midfield. And that's an important part of the ball game. And he kept them in a position to do some things they didn't convert. But for him, I thought he was my tip of the hat. And so, Khalil, really, here you are. You are the tip of the hat player for tonight.
All right, well, that's going to do it here from Olympian Field on the campus of Leuzinger High School. Once again, the final score of the Mayor's Cup and homecoming for the Leuzinger Olympians. The Hawthorne Cougars snatched the Mayor's Cup away from the Olympians 44-8 over the Leuzinger Olympians. For Rufus, Washington, Egidio, Deliu, and the terrific City TV crew, this is Lou Stowers saying so long until next time.